Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about cutting fluids in details. First, we will discuss what are cutting fluids. We will briefly introduce them. Then, we will discuss about the two important functions of cutting fluids, lubrication and cooling. Then, we will discuss about the negative impacts of high cutting temperature upon machining. Then we will proceed to cutting fluids, with how cutting fluids helps to combat friction and what that results during machining process. After that, we will discuss the remaining significant uses of cutting fluids. Then we will proceed to broadly classify cutting fluids. After that, we will discuss the necessary characteristics that every cutting fluid must possess. Then we will discuss about the disadvantages of using cutting fluids in machining. And in the end, we will discuss the alternates or the remedies which we can use in order to eliminate this disadvantage. So let's get the video started. Here I will briefly describe about cutting fluids. So what are cutting fluids? Cutting fluids may be either solids, liquids or gases that assist during machining operations. They are vital in almost every industry. Why? Because of cutting fluids, many complicated machining processes are made possible. On the basis of usage of cutting fluids machining is divided into two categories: dry machining and wet machining. As the name suggests, dry machining refers to the machining which doesn't include cutting fluids. Cutting fluids aren't used in dry machining, whereas in wet machining, cutting fluids come into play. We will discuss now the two distinct properties that every cutting fluid possesses: lubrication and cooling. At the same time, a particular cutting fluid, it can act both as a lubricant and as well as a coolant. But the lubrication property and the cooling property in a cutting fluid, it varies from one cutting fluid to another. We will now discuss what we mean by lubrication. Lubrication refers to the reduction in coefficient of friction between the rake surface of the tool and between the chips that are flowing over the rake surface, and also between the plant and the machine surface. Lubrication, it reduces the heat generation itself because it attacks directly that area where the friction is generated. Lubrication can't do anything about the heat that has already been generated, because lubrication attacks that area where the friction generates. So even after using a very good cutting fluid which has very good lubricant property, even after that, high cutting temperature persists to damage or product a workpiece in the tool. In order to combat that, the cooling property of the cutting fluids come into play. So what do we mean by a coolant or cooling property? Cooling is done to take away the already being generated heat from the cutting zone in order to reduce the cutting temperature. That means if the cutting temperature which still persists even after using the lubricant property of the cutting fluids, this is combated using the cooling property of the cutting fluids. Cooling, it reduces the already generated heat, and it cannot reduce the actual heat generation because we don't use it in the area where the friction is generated. Instead, it is simply there to combat that heat which has been left over even after using the lubricant. When we are applying low cutting speed from the tool upon the workpiece, lubrication property is required from the cutting fluid more, and when there is high cutting speed, cooling property is required more from the cutting fluid. Heading over to the negative impacts of high cutting temperature while machining. First, upon the tool, there is a rapid tool wear which in turn reduces the tool life. Tool wear occurs due to rubbing between the tool and between the chip and between the tool and also between the workpiece. Because during high cutting temperature, the material of the tool and even the workpiece, it gets softened. Then cutting edges plastically deform, which damages the tool a lot. There is a loss of tools hot hardness. Loss of tools hot hardness refers to its losing of its hardness during high cutting temperature, and not only hardness, even some other important mechanical properties too. There is even BUE, built up formation in the secondary deformation zone, which damages the tool, and even cracking or shattering of some parts of the tool occurs from thermal shock, from sudden rise in and decrease in temperature. Cracking and shattering of some parts of the tool can occur. Now, effects of negative high cutting temperature upon workpiece. There can occur dimension inaccuracy of the final machine product which we get after machining. It is because of sudden expansion and contraction. Surface damage can be caused by it, like oxidation, rapid corrosion, burning, and even many others. And even micro cracks at the surface, it can occur at the surface or beneath the surface of the workpiece. Now we are heading on to what happens when we are able to control friction using cutting fluid. Let's begin. If friction is controlled by cutting fluid, then there is less wear and tear of the tool, which results in longer tool life and no extra labor cost is required for grinding and for repairing the tool. Second is higher cutting speed and higher depth of cut can be employed, which wouldn't have been possible if we didn't control the friction. Then third is less friction means we need less power consumption because the energy consumption is low. So that's the economic benefit. And less friction also means less heat production, and just now I have discussed what will happen when the heat production is low. That is what will happen when we are able to control high cutting temperature, what that benefits during machining. So when we control friction or when we control heat production, we are able to benefit a lot from it. There are other significant of cutting fluids as well. First is it is used to break the chips into smaller parts so that the machining becomes easier, especially in case of ductile materials where long curly chips get formed. After that, this cutting fluid is also used as a washing agent. It washes away the chips which get settled upon the tool, upon the workpiece, upon the machining surface, upon the finished surface, and even on the machine parts. So when cutting fluid is used, it washes away the chips. And especially this has significance in industries where very red hot chips get formed. As we know, the chips, they carry away the 70 to 80% of heat energy formed during machining. So if these red chips, they get settled upon the tool, upon the workpiece, upon the finished surface area, and upon the machine parts, their material, they might get disturbed morphologically and metallurgically. After that, the last one is it protects the finished surface from chemical processes like oxidation, which get caused due to high cutting temperature. So how it is done, I have already discussed that cutting fluids helps to control high cutting temperature, and when high cutting temperature is brought to as minimum as possible, chemical processes like oxidation can be avoided to the finished surface of the workpiece. So that's all. Heading to the next topic, we will discuss about types of cutting fluids. So in front of you, a sheet is going to appear. As we can see, this conventional cutting fluid is categorized into three categories. First are neat cutting oils, then water soluble oils, and then gases. So first we'll begin with neat cutting oils. What are neat cutting oils? They are straight mineral oils or mineral oils with additives like sulfurized fatty oils or elementary sulfur or fluorinated paraffins. They are preferred. These neat cutting oils are preferred when cutting pressure between the between the chip and tool face are very high and where the primary objective is lubrication. Then we'll head over to water soluble oils. So what happens when we use only water? As we know, water is an excellent cooling medium having a large specific heat, but it has little lubricating properties, and even water can cause rust and corrosion. Another disadvantage of using water is that it possesses high surface tension, due to which it bursts upon the surface and does not spread over the surface. It is very essential for the cutting fluid to spread all over the surface. So, in water, petroleum or mineral oils and chemicals are added for enhancement of the overall cutting fluid. Water-soluble fluids are defined suitable for operations where the cutting speeds are very high and pressure on the tool is relatively low. These water-soluble oils are of following types. First is emulsifiable oil. Emulsifiable oil also goes by the name soluble oil. It contains 60 to 90% of petroleum oils, mineral oils, emulsifiers and other additives. A concentrate is made out of these, that is between petroleum, mineral oils, emulsifiers and additives. A concentrate is made out of them, and then that concentrate is added to water. We even have emulsifiers. So these emulsifiers, they are soap-like and they contain finite number of minute and invisible particles, which gives the mixture a creamy or milky white color. It's the emulsifiers which causes the oil to disperse in water. These soluble oils or emulsifiable oils are suitable for light and medium duty operations involving a variety of ferrous and non-ferrous applications. Now we will discuss the advantages of soluble oils. This advantage is comparatively to water. What happens when we use water alone? So the advantage over using water is that it gives improved cooling capabilities and good lubrication due to blending of both oils and water. The disadvantages of soluble oils are that the presence of water makes the emulsifiable oils more susceptible to rust control problems, bacterial growth and evaporation losses. When mixed with hard water, soluble oils tend to form precipitate on machine parts, on tool and even the workpiece. Soluble oil has poor rancidity resistance. Soluble oil, due to their high oil content, they may be most difficult to clean off from the surface of the workpiece, from the tool and even from the machine parts. And then even the mist formation of the soluble oils, it is very dangerous for the workers after they have inhaled them. As such, they have been replaced with in most operations with chemical cutting fluids. Now we are heading to semi-chemical or semi-synthetic fluids. As the name suggests, it is the hybrid between chemical or synthetic fluids and between the emulsifiable oils. So it contains 20 to 30%, around 20 to 30% of petroleum. That's all for semi-synthetics. Then we'll come to the synthetics or the chemical fluids, chemical cooling fluids. The first thing that should be noted is that it contains 0% any organic substance like petroleum oils, mineral oils. These synthetics, they generally consist of chemical lubricant and rust inhibitors. The following are most commonly used chemical constituents. Phosphates and borates, they are used for water softening. Amines and nitrites for rust prevention. Soap and wetting agents for lubrication and reduce surface tension, germicides for controlling bacterial growth. See, all these advantages which we were having in soluble oils, they are reduced, they are brought to null by using these chemicals. And the advantages of synthetics over soluble oils are: first, it has excellent microbial control. Then, because we add germicides, then it has resistance to rancidity for longer periods of time. Just now we have noticed that soluble oils have poor rancidity, whereas this synthetic oils, it has longer periods of rancidity. Then another advantage of these synthetics are, it is relatively non-toxic, it has good corrosion resistance control, it has superior cooling qualities, it has greater stability when mixed with hard water, it has reduced misting and foaming problems, and it can easily be separated from the workpiece, from the machine parts and the tool. So that's where these are the we can classify these water soluble oils into the following types. First, immersive soluble oils are of the following types: general purpose soluble oils, clear type soluble oils, fatty soluble oils, and EP soluble oils. And chemical and synthetic fluids are of three types: true solutions, surface active chemical fluids, and EP surface active chemical fluids. So that's all for water soluble oils. Then we'll head over to gases. These gases, they contain the gases like air, cooled air, argon, helium, CO2, nitrogen, and aerosols are used. Ordinary gases are seldom used because of its poor poor lubricating, and its poor anti-seizing properties. CO2 is most commonly used gaseous cutting fluid as it has excellent heat extracting property, and even gases like helium, nitrogen, argon are used. And the aerosols, they are rather bad for workers because of dangers of being inhalated into the respiratory system of the workers. Then it was determined that cutting fluids cannot penetrate chip-tool interface at high cutting speeds. So that's why gaseous fluids came into play. They were seen very attractive then, because the penetration problem was considered. The penetration problem in case of gaseous cutting fluids, when we applied gaseous cutting fluids, they got reduced, very much reduced. But one drawback which we are having, that there was high cost of gases, which made them uneconomical for production applications. In the end, I would like to discuss about solid lubricants. They are like greases, wax sticks, molybdenum disulfide, and there was one more name which must be listed here. So these are in solid phases and they mainly act as a lubricant. So that's all for types of cutting fluids. So the spelling is wrong. It must be fluids. So let's head over to the next topic. Now I'm going to discuss about the necessary characteristics that every cutting fluid must possess. So I'm having a list with me since I don't want to miss out any points. The first characteristic is that every cutting fluid must be non-toxic. Then it should be non-flammable, since cutting fluids are used to extract heat even at very high cutting temperatures. It should be inert at room temperature, and inert even during high cutting temperatures, since so that it doesn't react with the surrounding air with the materials of the tool, of the workpiece and the machine parts. It should have high thermal capacity, since the function of cutting fluid is used to extract heat, so that if it has high thermal capacity, it is able to extract a large amount of heat. It should have low viscosity, since a low viscous fluid is able to flow over more area. It neither causes nor promotes corrosion in any way, because corrosion, it damages the tool, it damages the machine parts, it even can cause damage to the workpiece. It should be cost efficient, it should be very well suited to our budget, it should be stable at even at high temperature. Transparent cutting fluids are preferred, since we can see what's happening in the cutting area when we are using cutting fluids by any way. We can apply MQL method or even flooding method. So if that cutting fluid is transparent, we can see what's happening we can actually see what's happening in the cutting zone. It should have non-foaming tendency, because foams are not necessary. It should have high flash point, since when it has high flash point, it doesn't get evaporated easily at high temperature. It should be odorless, because odors are not necessary. So that's all for the characteristics of cutting fluids. We will discuss now the disadvantages of using cutting fluids in machining. First, cutting fluids create several health and environmental problems, which are listed here. First is it causes air pollution due to chemical dissociation or breakdown of cutting fluids chemicals, because they are used at very high cutting temperature. Then water pollution and soil pollution are caused due to their ultimate disposal. Then even the biological ailments happen to the workers and the operators. Respiratory problems occur, that is lungs related, it is breathing related. It happens due to fumes, smokes and bad odors. And dermatological, that means skin related, it happens due to physical contact and bacterial growth caused by the cutting fluids. And also there is one more disadvantage of cutting fluid, which I am not able to write here because of insufficient space of the board. It is that the cutting fluid system, it requires a more flow space, and it requires storage space. It requires another system for cooling and for storage. So this is another disadvantage of cutting fluid. Heading on to the next topic. This is the end of our lecture of this video. Here we are going to discuss the solutions or the remedies or the alternates to eliminate the disadvantage of using cutting fluids in machining. First is dry machining. I have already defined what is dry machining. It refers to the machining process where cutting fluids aren't used at all. And the drawbacks of dry machining are that it produces a lot of high cutting temperature, which can damage the workpiece, the tool, the machine parts. So in order to apply dry machining, the tool material which we are using, it should be very costly one, like CBN and diamond, but that doesn't come in our economic favor. So dry machining isn't that economically favorable. Then coming to high water content cutting fluids. We have water soluble fluids, cutting fluids, where we use oils and chemicals. So if possible in our machining process, if we don't require that much of oil and chemicals, we can reduce this quantity. That is, we can increase the ratio of water to the chemical or the oils, so that the cutting fluid doesn't become harmful to the environment and to the other persons which are in the near contact. Then after this is over, after that, cutting fluid jet systems. Here, via jet systems, we apply the cutting fluid with a very high speed. And the advantage of this cutting fluid jet system is that very less cutting fluid is required. And thus it becomes environmental friendly. After that, cryogenic machining. In fact, it can be called as the best form of using the cutting fluid. Why? Because compressed and cooled air is used here, and it is the best possible solution for removing the disadvantage of cutting fluids. It is the best possible solution to eliminate the pollutions and the other harmful effects caused by cutting fluids. In fact, air is the most cleanest source we can use. After that, we have solid lubricant. Here in solid lubricant, I've already discussed about that. So here the advantage is that in solid lubricant, the mist formation isn't there. We don't have mist formation like in case of water soluble fluids. So as the mist isn't there, there is no inhalation problem of the workers, and thus they are saved from the danger. That's all for this lecture. Hope you have benefited from this lecture, and do share my video to the ones who require it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Thank you.